Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we got another discussion video. First off, I want to say that the WWE Draft is just embarrassingly bad. How can they be this bad? Seriously. I mean, it started off okay, but once we got to the Monday Night Raw draft night, things completely fell apart. It didn't help that they leaked their own list, and then I think they were kind of scrambling to kind of mix it up a bit. I thought that was one of the worst drafts they ever did, seriously. Then they had this blockbuster trade. First off, they drafted Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross separately when they were a tag team. Okay, not a big deal, you give the illusion that you might draft Nikki Cross to SmackDown. Whatever. Then, you end up drafting them both to Raw. Okay, fine. Then they come up with this blockbuster trade between the Kabuki Warriors and Bliss and Cross. Wow, such a blockbuster trade. It's just embarrassingly bad, and I don't disagree when people say this is at an all-time low. It is. It can be at times. I mean, they're not helping themselves by doing things like this. If they wanted more people on Raw, they could have went about it in a different way. Just do your drafts, pick for pick. One to Raw, one to SmackDown, one to Raw, one to SmackDown. And then at the end of the draft, you're left with these pools of people, people that went undrafted. You can go about this in a different way. Okay, this guy's a free agent. This guy's a free agent now. Who's he going to sign with? You can create storylines out of this. You can create moments out of this. Okay, Cesaro went undrafted. He shows up on Raw. He shows up on SmackDown. He's trying to get a job on each. I know it's been done before, but, with a guy like Cesaro, I think it can work. You have him put on these great matches, and then ultimately he ends up signing with a brand. And how to manage more people onto Raw, you just say, look, we're doing these draft pools after midnight. Raw ends up selecting 8 people, and SmackDown only got 4 people. So what? Raw ended up with the bigger deals here. So what? Finn Balor recently turned heel on WWE's NXT show this week. I actually really enjoyed this. Finn Balor as a babyface on WWE has just been stale. It never really got to the heights of what he was in NXT, prior to him joining the main roster a few years ago. Having that injury didn't help. He was out almost a year in 2016, early 2017. So he's been on and off for me, hot and cold. He's always been good in the ring, pretty solid performer. But, they never really pushed him like they really wanted to, I don't think. And, that really says something about WWE at this time. They could be on you 1 second, and the next minute they could care less about you. That's part of their creative problem as well. You gotta stick with your pushes. If you're gonna push someone, give them a steady push. Don't just say, okay, we're gonna push it for 3 months, and then after that, we don't know what to do with you. But Finn Balor going back to NXT, I think, was the right move overall. He ended up hitting dastardly brainbuster on the rampway to Johnny Gargano. They did the whole stretcher job, did an ambulance spot as well. So Finn Balor officially heel, and maybe we'll see more of the Demon Balor, hopefully. That always worked great in NXT. And if he's going to be with Undisputed Era, who knows? That hasn't been announced or disclosed yet. So this will be interesting. I've definitely been enjoying NXT the past few weeks. And finally, I want to address, let's see here, Miracle Mike Kanellis, recently asked for his WWE release, and I don't think they're going to give it to him. He did sign a 5-year deal. 5-year deal back in June. And, he tweeted about it. He made it public that he asked for his release and said, I'm not happy in my position. I came here to work. I'm not working. But I made this choice based on my, to keep my family financially secure and whatnot. So it's like he's damned if he does, damned if he don't. Personally, I heard a few people go on about this. If they're not going to use him, give the guy his release. But on the other hand, the guy just signed a 5-year deal. He knew back in June that he hadn't been on TV in months. He hadn't even had a house show since October of last year. Over a year without a house show match. I mean, this is on him at this point. I think, Maria probably was running the show on this one. Look, they're going to give us 5-year deals. Let's just stay here. I mean, it's probably really good money. Between the two of them, they're probably taking home $1 million a year, which is really good money. 5 years, that's, $5+ million a year. Granted, they put him in a stupid storyline. I didn't like that at all, how they kind of buried him on TV with saying you're not the father and blah, blah, blah. Ricochet got involved with that. But my take is, if you're not going to use the man, give him his release. So what? He signed a 5-year deal, but it's kind of, you shouldn't have signed a 5-year deal to begin with, knowing you hadn't been used, but maybe they do have plans with him. Look at a guy like Buddy Murphy. Didn't really seem like they were doing much with him. Granted, he just recently got big in WWE. He's worked his way up from 205 Live, and then now he's on Raw, I think. And he's got a pretty solid push behind him. He's one of my favorites right now, Buddy Murphy. And back to Mike Bennett, he's a really talented guy. Put him with the OC, put him with a group like that, and, just put a little bit of steam behind him. He doesn't have to be on TV every week. Just give the guy a match here and there, Not having a house show match in over a year or almost a year is pretty embarrassing when you work for the biggest company, or one of the biggest companies in the world, WWE. Anyways, guys, this has been another episode of the Triple Threat. Let me know your thoughts on the recent draft, the Mike Bennett Kanellis situation, and Finn Balor's heel turn on NXT. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later. Peace.